I've come to Speaker's House in the heart of the Palace of Westminster to learn about one fairly unknown about parliamentary pre-coronation tradition.
On the night of the coronation, the king can, if he wishes, stay in this bed. So therefore, we've got the bed ready. We know George IV was the last one to use this bed. And that's what really is amazing. The fact is, here we are in what I would say is the royal bedroom.
For 1,000 years, kings and queens have been crowned in Westminster Abbey. What has been the role of Parliament, particularly, in that process?
Well, the original process, of course, this was the palace. This was the royal palace. And of course, eventually this was handed over to Parliament. Parliament came and they took it. And of course, 1834, as we know, the fire destroyed the palace and it was rebuilt. And that's when the Commons came in its own into the House of Lords. But of course, what we always needed was to ensure that the right of the monarch, and the bed was here, the royal bed, which we've got, which disappeared for many a year, was found and brought back. So we have it available if it's needed.
So the king hasn't asked to stay in this bedroom, even though he's entitled to. He hasn't asked to stay here the night before.
What we did, we dropped you a line and said, by the way, Your Majesty, just in case you need it, the bed's made up, ready to go, the rooms are all available, the mirrors are polished, and of course, we await the answer. What is also interesting, for the maids to actually leave the palace, we've had to put a motion down that MPs have voted to accept that the maids can proceed to the Abbey. You know, who would have thought we'd have to do that? Well, these are the kind of things that history throws up for us, and these are the kind of things that we've got to put in place before it can happen.
I understand you're not going to be wearing the wig that your predecessor did in this role.
Well, as we look around this room, this filled with men of a certain age who all wear a wig. I've got to say, Baroness Boothroyd, I thank her so much, not because she was a fantastic speaker, but she was the one that said, we don't need a wig. She's got a fine head of hair, and hopefully mine will suffice as well. Some things have changed. That's why His Majesty came on Tuesday, and I think that's what's so important. He wanted to meet the MPs who won't be going to the Abbey. He wanted to meet the peers as well, and it was about him coming to Parliament and meeting them.
So just finally, Mr. Speaker, this is such a special week. I've got to ask you, are you excited to be there?
Absolutely. As the 158th Speaker, a lad from a village in Adlington in Lancashire, to actually be the person who's been chosen by the House of Commons, not just as Speaker, but to represent them in Westminster Abbey. I've got to tell you, yes, of course I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it, absolutely. It's a privilege, complete privilege for me to be doing this. And of course, as we know, the world will be upon us. The Commonwealth will be coming as well. They'll be represented. And of course, the overseas territories. All what the King cares for, what I care for, to actually watch the crown of the King and the Queen will be quite an amazing day. For a lad from Lancashire, it really is my day as well.
Mr. Speaker, thank you.